Hello, and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Originals. And for tonight's episode, we will be featuring full Lego custom tutorial of Stegosaurus.
Right, guys, so this is going to be a full tutorial on how I actually make a Stegosaurus. And we will be using this Tyrannosaurus Rex as our main, I guess, figure to create the Stegosaurus. Alright, so take the journey with me into making my Stegosaurus. This is a full tutorial. Alright, so first up, we're going to mark where we are going to cut the T-Rex. Right, so I marked it from where the studs would end here until where the hump of the tummy would end. So it's about right here. So now we're going to cut this, and I'm going to teach you how to put it back together. Alright, so we have completely, removed it, and now we're just going to put it upside down, and there you have it. The makings of the body of the Stegosaurus. Now we're just going to mark some more areas where we need to, cut here, right after the legs over here. You'll need to cut it off because the head of the Stegosaurus is not this big or this, thick, or the neck is not that thick. So we're also going to cut this area, and then we're also going to cut this area off because we don't need that bump over there, like so. And yeah, can you imagine it, guys, how it's going to end up? Now I brought out this Dremel tool so that we have a faster, way of cutting it. Again, guys, protect yourselves, wear goggles, and also mask when you're doing this.
And here are the winners of our Guess the Species contest. We have 10 Lucky Picks, an official Jurassic World Margu, Dionix, Swollen Health Dragon, Jurassic Customizer, Eden Stevenson, Eligerial Korea, I Don't Wanna Be Here, Victor Gabriel, Cisan Jimenez. Congratulations! And for our top 10, Bat
Top 10.
User IC3AZ30E, Gavin
Top
Kiel
8.
Tarasina, King Dinosaurs,
Top 7.
Ayutay Kanal,
Top 6.
Gabriel
Top
Elkins, Colton Todd,
Top 4.
Restart Special,
Top 3.
Cretaceous Bricks,
Top 2.
and Restart
And
Live.
top
Congratulations to all the
1.
winners. And for you to join, so easy, just type Extinct Bricks and then go to the community link for you to see our latest post. Continuing on, take it away, Extinct Bricks.
And here's how it looks like. So we separated this one here, and now we're going to now attach this here. We're going to leave it a gap so that the Stegosaurus is much larger than our medium-sized Stegosaurus. Alright, so we have here 2 Lego pieces that we will be attaching here on our T-Rex body. Like so. So this needs a little bit more length to it, so we're attaching one more Lego piece here. Head goes here, tail goes there, legs. plates over here. Okay, so this is where the head will be going, or the neck will be going, so we're just going to attach this here with some super glue. And then of course we're going to secure everything with some hot glue. Whoopsie. After that, we bulk it up with aluminum foil. So we, take small pieces of this one and then put a little bit of what do you call that? Glue, and then put it on the figure until it takes the shape. If for example you have certain rough cuts like so, what you can do is you just get your handy dandy sandpaper and sand it off before you move on to your aluminum foil. This makes it easier because the glue stick that would be gluing here would be really hard to sand off, and you don't want to get it kind of issue when you're actually doing the sculpts on your figure already. So I pried open the head of the T-Rex, which is actually not a very easy thing to do, but we will be needing this particular piece here to place here, which will be the neck, at least the base of the neck of our Stegosaurus, like so. Now for the head, we will be using this small Pterosaurus, and we're going to just cut it off here and then attach it to this piece, and then this will come here. Now all we need is just to attach everything together. Now be careful to really align everything so that it's not gonna be hard for you to adjust after it has been already attached, like so. Alright, so for the limbs of the Stegosaurus, we are actually using this part of the screw-on Carnotaurus. We just added in the parts here of the what do you call this, arms arms of the Indominus or Indoraptor, and we kind of use it as the attachment point. And then of course the lower legs here is from the T-Rex, however we will be using the feet of this same leg here as the feet for the Stegosaurus, so it's not that big. And here's what we have so far for our Stegosaurus. We have bulked up some of the parts here. As you can see, it's now much fatter than before, and of course we have adjusted the tail height as well so that it looks more accurate to the skeletal reconstruction of the Stegosaurus. We've also made changes to the face and also on the height of the legs. Imagine this with plates and spikes on the tail. Moving on to the next portion. So here I have sketched out the overall look of the Stegosaurus, and we have here plates that we will be cutting down and also placing on this particular foam sheet, and that will serve as the bits of our Stegosaurus. So let's now do that. So I've traced all of the plates here on this particular foam sheet, and we're going to cut it off and attach it to our Stegosaurus. The smaller ones are of different thickness, so we're going to do those as well. So here we have the cutouts of the plates, and just to show you guys how I actually do it. So I connect, or I put them individually using super glue here, but probably we're just going to continue and complete this particular process after we have completed on the sculpting. But I just wanted to show you guys how I do it. So I place it here on where it should go, around here. Like so. And then I follow through with the next number over here, which should be around this place, and so on and so forth. Number 3 around here, something like that. 4, 5, 6, and here's how it looks like, should look like. Alright, so for the next step of this particular process, we're going to start on the sculpting. So we have here Pioneer non-sag epoxy. We are going to combine equal parts of A and B, and for that you're gonna need to have your tools mix it, because it's not safe to handle these types of chemicals. But once it's already mixed up, you can actually do some sculpting with your hands. So we have here a ball of mixed already non-sag epoxy. I'm using some powder. You can use baby powder, or you can use a flour or cornstarch, so that it won't stick on your hands. And this is what you're going to use to sculpt on the figure. So we're just going to put this one in portions. And here is what we have accomplished, at least for the initial sculpt of our Stegosaurus, as you can see here. And then we're going to add the spikes, and that's it. We're going to color this big bad boy. So for the end spikes of the tail, we actually use the Ghidorah spikes. Okay guys, we're ready to primer the Stegosaurus over here, and we'll be using this Fosny number 68 primer in gray. And here we have our Stegosaurus already primered up, and now we're ready to paint. So we'll be using, of course, different colors of acrylics. We have different sizes of brushes and types as well, and we have here some water. And also we have a hair dryer ready to hasten the process and dry things up more quickly. Right, so let's start with our painting, shall we? So to start off, we have here a mixture of a little bit of yellow ochre, some white, and unbleached titanium, and we're going to paint this on the bottom parts of our Stegosaurus here. So the pigment actually takes really well, so probably 1 or 2 coats of this would be enough. And aside from the bottom half of the figure, this will also be painted on in the bottom half of each of the plates. So the next color would be this one. This is more of a bluish yellowish thing. It's combination of cerulean blue, some unbleached titanium, a little bit of yellow, and also burnt umber. And we're going to paint this on the topmost portions of the Stegosaurus, as well as some parts of the legs as well. And now for some shading. So we have here a darker palette of what we had on earlier, a mixture of different shades of blues and also some burnt umber. And I have dried up this particular color on my brush, and we're going to slightly lightly do a dry brush on certain parts of our Stegosaurus, such as this part of the thigh, also some parts of the body as well, such as the top portions here, and also on the tail area. Now it appears that it's a bit darker, so if it dries too dark, then we're going to lighten this up a bit with a little bit of yellow ochre, I guess, or some white. Okay, so before we put on the red, this is just a mixture of some of the blues that we had on earlier mixed with some red and a little bit of the unbleached titanium, and we're just going to dab certain areas of the plates as well as the body of our Stegosaurus here. Later on, this will I don't know if this will even appear on the final outcome, but there will be hints of this color later on, which will be covered primarily with the reds and also with the blues and the whites. But we wanted it anyways to show through somehow, so we're just going to dab in the colors right now before we put on much of the details that will be incorporated into the figure. This is where you can actually also cover some of the imperfections of the figure and the sculpts that you have done on the figure. So yeah. And I did a little bit of experimenting, mixing some oranges and blues and some white, and came up with several tones of colors here that I have dabbed into the figure, and it looks smudgy, but later on I think this will pay off once we have incorporated the darker lines of black and so on. And there's different types of techniques that I use here, some dry brushing as well as some dabbing motion on the figure, and this is how it turned out. So this will be carried through on the slides, on the plates as well, but the plates will be more of a painted orange color rather than a dry brush technique. So the painting of the plates here would be more or less or irregular, I would say, and it will cover much of the red portions, but we'll be leaving the yellow parts here at the base of the plate blank, so that it creates that that kind of feel wherein the roots of the plates would be much lighter than how it is ending up at the end. But there's bits and pieces of those blanter red colors peeking through some of the covered layers of this. So this is just a mixture of red and orange, and I just added some greens to it just to break out the brightness of the red, and I think it works. So we're just going to do this for the rest of the plates, and later on we'll just be adding on the darker colors such as black and also some more blues to it, just to bring more interest to all of the plates. So we've finished 3 and we're just going to do the rest. Alright guys, so we have here a thinned out black mixed with a little bit of red, and we're going to paint some details on the figure. Now it actually brings this figure to life already, as you can see here. As you can see here, the details of the black on in contrast with those of the blues and other colors actually bring some lightness into the figure itself. So I'm quite happy that this is the next step, but after this there will be a lot of details still to be included on the figure. Now that we are nearing completion of our Stegosaurus, now we have need to add a few more details. Now this is just a wash from the reds that we had on earlier, and we're somehow outlining some of these stripes or bigger stripes of the Stegosaurus just to give it more interest and color. And of course, for the final stretch, we just colored in the beak. We added eyes. Later on, when it's dried, we're going to put on details using a marker, a black marker. We also colored in the ends of the tail and also paste in the nails. Yeah, and that's it for the making of our accurate Stegosaurus based off from the Creative Studio Stegosaurus.